Now let's do the georeferencing of our field map. So here what we can say is, okay, we have this really nice environment for our mapping, but it's empty of our own data. So first thing, before we dive into it, let's go to data view so things are nice and neat there. Let's maybe turn off the DSM. And just jump out of Arc for a second and remind ourselves that you definitely want to put your field map inside this field map folder, okay? And you'll receive that map separately, or you can scan it yourself if you have it. But that needs to be there. It needs to be in a PNG or a JPEG file format. So let's go back to Arc. And so what we're going to want to do is we're looking for a toolbar that will be the Geo-Referencing toolbar, and you might have it out, but otherwise go to Customize, Toolbars, Georeferencing. Okay, so here it is, and what I like to do is I'll put it up here. You can dock it, that's called. And now let's add data. So go up to your field map to make sure you're in the right place. So I'm on the desktop. I want to remember, if you can't find something, you can sometimes click on this connect to folder, and in this case I'm just going to connect to the desktop. And so then in here I'll look inside field map, and there's my map. Okay, so you can make pyramids. This just kind of lets it zoom a little bit. And now this error is the whole point of what we're doing. It doesn't know where to draw it because it's just a scan of the map. We need to give it georeferencing. We have to locate it in the earth and geographic sort of framework. So we just say okay. So you don't see it. You might think, oh man, where is it? But what you want to do is up here on the georeferencing toolbar is click and make sure that file that you put in is chosen. Because once in a while you can have another thing like one of your base maps will be here, and that would be bad because we don't want to move the base map. We want to use the base map and move our geologic map to the base map. So this is good. We want to see that. So then you just can say fit to display. And there it is. And so I've only done the northern part of my map because I don't want to give away too much mapping, because this will be a public set of data here. So then what we need to do is, you can see it's not aligned. It's actually not too bad. So what we do is we click here on add control points, and it's really important to remember we do unknown to known. And so all we have to do is we're going to pick several pairs of points of unknown to known, and it'll align it. So just click there once. And you really want to use the contours more so than the boundary, because it turns out the red line boundary is slightly different than the one I used in the mapping. So if you click like right here, I can see those contours are the same as those. Boom. So I moved it already. See, that wasn't too bad. So I just go unknown to known, and I can interrupt and sort of zoom. So let's go down to the bottom here and find something. And the main thing you want to do is you just turn your map on and off so you can find something. So for example, I'm going to go with this tiny contour right here. You just have to remember which one it is. And then I can see, oh, it's that one there. There. So now I'll turn the map back on. It's in the right place. So now one thing you do is right click and say zoom to layer, and that'll take us out back to our map. So we have 2 points. It's important this process won't work if they're all in kind of a straight line. So let's go down to the corner, sort of off that axis, and let's do another one. So turn it off and find something like, I see this little circle right there of contour. So I'll click here, click right in the middle of that circle, turn my map off and find that circle in the contours right there, and turn it back on. And now we're getting quite good. That's just 3 points. Let's do maybe 2 more just to distribute it. So zoom to layer. We've got 1, 2, 3. So let's put one in over here on the right. And I see, for example, I see this little circle here, which looks pretty good. So let's go into the middle of that circle. Click right in there. And I hardly have to move it. And so once you have 4 is the minimum. And it looks pretty good. Now if you make a mistake, you can click here on this link table. And what you could do is, let's say, there was a problem. Right now, because there's 4, we don't have any sense of the error. So if you do more, you'll start to see the residual, like how good it is. But you see basically it's figuring out the equation that'll transform the X source, which are just pixels, to the X map and Y map, which are these are UTM positions, so these are meters. And once it figures out that equation, that transformation, then it applies it to everything, to all the pixels. But let's say you had one of these that you thought was a problem. You can see them being highlighted. You can just right click and, or actually you can click up here and you would delete that link and keep going. So if you made a mistake, that's what to do. Or just start over. But let's say we're good, we're done. So then we go up here to georeferencing rectify, and so it's going to make a 0.76 meters per pixel map. We can do nearest neighbors find, output location. Let's try one more time here let's just say put it in the field map. Okay, so then you see by sticking it like that, choosing the output location, I can give format TIFF. And then here, I'm going to say rectify, because I prefer that as a more logical name. So say save. And you don't see anything, but it's actually there. So now you just click and add it. So see, there's the rectify.tiff. We'll say add. And you can't see it because it looks exactly the same as the other one, but delete. So if you right click, if you're satisfied, remove the first one and it gets rid of all the georeferencing. But now this file is exactly where it's supposed to be. So if we zoom in here, or let's move the base maps above it, that's easier. And now if you turn the contours on, yeah, you can see that the contours are right where they're supposed to be. So that's good.